Hey, what's happening? Um, I thought I'd jump on tonight and talk about a bit of why, let's say, I want to start a clothing brand, and yeah, a bit more about the clothing brand. The last few days have been a bit, about what I usually get up to and all that stuff, and yeah, I thought of tonight I would talk about that. It's basically 9:45 in New Zealand at night, 19th of July, Saturday. And yeah, so the reason why I want to start a clothing brand, basically, is you've probably seen on my intro, I talked about how, like, growing up in Spain, I've always played football and all that kind of stuff growing up. That's obviously the main sport, and yeah, everything was about football growing up. I played in a good team. We won leagues, good tournaments, and the dream was probably to become a professional football player, right? But where I come from a little village that, I guess dreaming like that and believing that you're going to be a professional football player, it kind of like doesn't exist much. Like you get told like, oh nah, no one makes it here, blah blah blah, and you have not much guidance, and then, for example, my dad was a bit absent, I guess, when it came to the sport, and he didn't know, or I guess have that kind of way of encouraging me to, let's say, chase my dream, or you have to work hard if you want to make it, blah blah blah. And yeah, so I guess football never happened. I loved it, but I guess it never happened. And growing up in Spain, I never really had that, I guess, belief in myself either. Like I was confident in myself, but I never, I guess, believed that you could, I guess, achieve a dream. Like, such as, for example, football. Or I never believed you could create something, or like, I always believed that I would end up like kind of working a 9 to 5, which was normal. Everybody did that. I believed I would grow up and rent a house, I guess, maybe have a girlfriend and kids, maybe get married. Yeah, like, it was never like, I never had that intention of like setting myself up to do something great, or like, thinking big things like, oh, I'm gonna, let's say, create a clothing brand, or I'm gonna do something big with my life. It was never like that, because we never came from something like that. Our village is small, everybody knows each other. It's one of those, just one of those places where, like, I guess nobody, no, I mean, I won't say nobody, but like, many people don't think like that, or think that they can achieve something big in their life. It's usually just the same old thing that, I guess, the system teaches us, maybe. Like, go to school, get a job, blah blah blah, whatnot. So I guess the reason why I want to start a clothing brand is, first of all, I love clothes, obviously. Um, I didn't make it in football, and I guess for me, second would be my passion for clothes. I've always loved clothes. Like, it's something that I'm very passionate about. Growing up, I never had the money to buy as much clothes, that I wanted to, because my dad owns an English academy back in Spain, and he was always, quite invested in his business, but financially, living in Spain, it's not like here, I guess. Like, it's just a bit different. It's not that it's really poor, but my parents, for example, had me and three more kids, and it was always really tight. Like, they had to pay rent on top of that, and it's not like the business is crazily successful. But so yeah, I never had. All of my friends usually have the parents that, gave them money for all sorts. Going partying, and buying clothes and just doing all sorts of things. But I never had that kind of lifestyle, I guess, growing up. I never had the opportunity to do that because, yeah, my parents just didn't have much money. So, but for me, that was like, obviously, as a kid, you don't understand those things, and when you see your friends having all this stuff, and man, I hated it. I hated it with a passion. And now, as I'm older, I can't understand the position where my parents were at, and I've always been grateful and whatnot, but like I said, at that time, growing up, being a kid and a teenager, man, it sucked. And yeah, so I guess it kind of built a bit of a fire as well, as into why I wanted to make money. I guess I wanted to create something big in my life because I never had anything growing up. Like I'm not saying anything like no food or anything. Just I didn't have, I guess, many of the things that my friends had that I wanted, if that makes sense. So that had a big impact on my life. So, yeah, my biggest passion after football has been clothes and that. I've always loved styling my mates growing up. They always used to like it. I've always been that kind of guy that likes to pick a different piece from the shop, like different, or it can be a different colour, or like just stuff that not many people buy. Like it's not like the trendy thing or the popular thing to buy, but it's just different. And I've always been that kind of guy when it comes to clothes. So yeah, I think I might be going away from the question of why do I want to start a clothing brand though. I want to start a clothing brand because I love it. It's my passion, and also I want to prove to myself that I can create something and achieve something big in my life. Well, not big, like just something that I'm setting myself out to do and that I can achieve. Because many times in my life, like, I've been one of those guys that speaks out something big, and I go and do it, and let's say after a while I either stop or, I forget about it or something like that. But these thoughts of the clothing brand has been hanging around for quite a while, and I just don't want it to stay up here. I want it to kind of bring it to life, if that makes sense. So, and that's the other reason why the content as well kind of gives, I guess, some sort of accountability, even if no one might be watching or no one's answering. And yeah, other reasons for why I want to start a clothing brand. I've always told I've never spoken myself down for this, but looking back, I've always noticed, like, I would say, oh, I don't know, because I'm not the most, I guess, creative person or someone that picks up, let's say, art or drawing, like, very easily. Like, I've never been that guy. But I would always, even if I'm not that guy, I always would speak it, oh, I'm not creative at all. I'm not, like, I can't draw, I can't. And I would always speak that over myself. But, creativity can come in so many different ways. So, for me, this as well is just, I don't know, testing myself and see what I can do. Like, I want to see what I'm capable of. And apart from that, I think this is going to help me as well with building my confidence. I think that's another reason why I want this as well. Like, I think it's going to put me out there and it will naturally build my confidence in a way that I probably never imagined. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. Apart from that, just as well, the fact of making clothes, I think it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, I know I'm not the one making them, but like coming up with the idea of it and sending it to a manufacturer for them to return it, that whole process is pretty cool to me. I've already done like a couple of little things, like talking with the manufacturer and stuff, and I enjoy that kind of process, which is pretty cool. I've never sold anything though, so like that will be new. I'm not gonna like lie and say that, for example, I I don't want to make money, because I do want to make money. Like, part of this as well would be, one of my biggest dreams is to be financially free, right? And like the word I call it is financial freedom, like many people do. But you know, I am working towards that, and I think because I come from a family where we probably have never had financial freedom, so that's something big in my mind, a big goal of mine. And if I can achieve it through this clothing brand, that would be, you know, amazing. And yes, I'm not going to lie saying that it's not for the money, because it is for the money as well. You know, there's so many reasons why I want to do a clothing brand, but not just start a clothing brand. I want to go all the way. I want to kind of see if I can make it successful and all that. And what else? Another reason why I want to build a clothing brand. I guess another story I've got from growing up, like I said, like we didn't have as much money as other people had, and I never had the chances like my friends to, let's say, buy as many clothes as I want and stuff. We always, the way our mum used to do it, she would wait for like the summer sales, right? And that doesn't mean that we're gonna buy tons of clothes, right? But like that's when we would shop, and you know, one rule was like you only buy a new pair of shoes if your shoes are broken. So like it was never like a very my shopping experiences buying clothes always ended up either crying or being angry at my parents most times, and because I never got what I wanted. And yeah, so like then when it came to clothes as well, like maybe 2 pieces or three, and then the rest was kind of like given by older friends that just passed on their old clothes and that. So I never really experienced much of like buying many new clothes and stuff like that, which really sucked. I really hated. And yeah, so as well, because of the fact that clothes were very expensive, I think something that I want to do, and a big reason of why I want to make a clothing brand as well, I guess I can make clothes for myself, but also because I want to kind of, like you know, like that feeling of not being able to buy something because it's so expensive, or because you have no money. I would like to kind of, my reason for a clothing brand would, I guess, I would like to sell clothes that I could possibly sell at like an affordable price for everybody. I don't know how I would do that, because you know, obviously I don't know anything about business. I don't know what all of my expenses are going to be, but that is something that's in my mind that I would really like to achieve, if it's doable. Because I mean, at the end of the day, business is business, I guess, and I'll probably have to sell the clothes to a price where I guess it makes sense in a way. But if I could, you know, sell them for like cheap, man, that would be awesome. Because yeah, I used to hate that feeling, growing up. And yeah, I think I've touched on a few things of why I want to start a clothing brand. But yeah, I think the biggest one is that like proving to myself that I can achieve something, that I can make my dreams come true, and stuff like that. And yeah, yeah. As we go along, I'll probably, you know, come up with a few more things, but that's what's in my mind at the moment of why I want to start a clothing brand. Yeah. And I think, I guess as well, like if I were to see people, you know, my friends, I mean, people that support you, it's really easy. I guess they would chuck it on because they love you, but seeing strangers, I guess, wearing clothes that you create must be a pretty epic feeling. So I think that's another cool thing of why. And yeah. But that's obviously very far away and all that. Like I told you, at the end of the year I'm going back to Spain for a visit. So like, I won't be taking, I guess, proper steps towards the clothing brand until the start of mid-January, I would say, because that's when I get back. and fully investing money into it and that. So because now I'm just saving for Spain because it costs so much money. Yeah, but I'll talk a lot more about the clothing brand as we go, just to build it up and all that kind of stuff. At the moment I'm just doing designing on Canva. If you don't know what Canva is, it's just like a, what could you say, like a designing page or whatever that you can use to create your own designs and whatnot, and it's $20 a month. So some people use Adobe and whatnot, but I'm just with the cheapest at the moment because that's the most affordable. And yeah, so that's where we're at the moment with the clothing brand. I'll probably, create some content as well with some snippets of some designs, and so I can get your thoughts as well and whatnot. But at the moment, see if I can build a bit of an audience. And like I said in other videos as well, like I'll improve as I go with the content creating. I'm not the best in it, but I'll get there. Just like the same way as, I guess, talking to a camera. I've always found it so weird, and I guess in this area as well I'll probably build my confidence a bit more, because at the moment it's probably not the greatest, but it's okay. I might have to come more prepared, or make more planning before I jump on the camera or something like that, because at the moment I'm doing how I think I should be doing it, but if there's areas to improve in that area as well, I'll do my best as well. But yeah, I hope you stuck around. Maybe you didn't, maybe you just got off the first second of the video, but if you lasted all the way through, thank you, man, my guy. So yeah, that's me. I guess I'll leave you guys to it, to whoever's watching. Lorenzo. I like it. In Spanish it's, the way you say it's Lorenzo, and imagine we're in Spain. I don't think anybody would go for a name called Lorenzo, but in English I like the sound of it for some reason. Lorenzo. It just sounds different, eh? But yeah, that's all in my brain. Anyway, I'll see you later. Thank you for listening.